The new villain of Frozen 3 may have the same powers as Elsa, and on top of that, she seems to know the sisters of Arendelle. And that isn't even the strangest part. The trailer also hides clues that Frozen 3 has a new threat that is actually the evil Elsa who never existed. Crazy, but it's true. And there's a visual detail about her that proves it. After all, the big question is, who is this woman, and why is she looking for trouble with Arendelle? You already know, right? Another Cinewave is starting! It all starts with a tiny creature that, from far away, looks like nothing more than a snowflake falling from the sky. But look closely, that is not a normal snowflake. The creature has a shape that looks like a mix between a crystal butterfly and a snowflake, and it appears right out of the northern lights in the sky. The same image we already saw in the very first Frozen movie at the end of the song Frozen Heart. This detail gets even stranger when it starts flying over the kingdom of Arendelle, because while this ice spirit passes through the city, you can notice something important. Arendelle is not covered in snow, quite the opposite. There are flowers and patches of grass starting to appear, and it definitely isn't flying around peacefully. In one scene, it nearly runs into that man who owns the inn Anna visits in the first movie. Let's investigate this. The new adventure is bringing back characters, and of course, Frozen 3 is going to connect a lot with the first movie in the franchise, as you're about to see. But the truly important clue isn't even in this crystal butterfly, it's in the flowers, because they may reveal that Frozen 3 is going to take place during a brand new season. And that brings us to a theory that may seem small, but could explain the entire look of the new movie. Look at Arendelle. There are flowers blooming, green grass on the ground, and even Anna's wedding dress is covered in floral details. Pause the video and take a look. This suggests that the story takes place during spring, and if that really is the case, there's a very interesting pattern hiding here. The first Frozen is defined by winter. Frozen 2 takes place with that orange fall aesthetic. And now, if Frozen 3 really is using spring as its theme, that leaves one season for the next movie, doesn't it? Summer. So maybe Disney is building the 4 Frozen movies around the 4 seasons. And yes, the 4th movie was already confirmed a long time ago. And there's more. While Queen Anna appears wearing flowers that perfectly match this idea, Elsa shows up wearing red. And red is a very different color from the shades of blue and white that normally go along with the character, right? Could it just be a costume change? Of course it could. Or it could be hiding another clue about Elsa that will only make sense later on. So keep that red dress in your memory because it comes back in our theory. But these flowers could be pointing to something else besides spring, because Arendelle is getting ready for a huge celebration. And that celebration is none other than Anna and Kristoff's wedding. And this celebration seems to be much bigger than just a simple party. After all, it is the Queen's wedding. Near the entrance of the castle, you can see that there are tables and arrangements set up outside. Right after that, the ice spirit flies through an area filled with guests and decorated trees. Take a look. All of this points to one very clear possibility. We're going to see Anna's wedding, and Olaf himself practically gives away that something is going on between the two of them. Check out this gossip. When he appears, he says he caught the couple kissing. Looks like love is really heating up, huh? Anna throws the bouquet, and Olaf catches it. We'll talk about that later. In the same scene, Anna asks for help with her wedding dress so she can go through a magical portal that suddenly appears out of nowhere. Yes, that's a lot of information. We're dizzy too, but try to keep up. The one who solves the dress problem is Sven. And Anna takes that little jab at Kristoff, saying Sven pays more attention to a woman's needs. Could this just be a joke? Yes, but we're experts at picking up on details, so it's not that simple. Olaf also calls Kristoff a terrible husband. Because of that line, there's an interesting possibility. If he said husband, then maybe their wedding has already happened by the time the main adventure begins. And if that's the case, this crazy trip outside of Arendelle could actually be the couple's honeymoon. A honeymoon with magical portals, ice creatures, and a possible villain waiting on the other side. Pretty romantic and musical, right? Speaking of musical, the Disney event where the trailer was presented revealed a brand new song, one Olaf sings to his love, Samantha. Who is Samantha? Olaf's girlfriend. Who else would she be? We can't show the song here because Disney probably wouldn't be very happy about that, but you can find it on the internet. Olaf really is going to have a girlfriend, and the song he sings to her reveals that this ice girl is going to be named Samantha. And you know what's even more interesting about all of this? During the trailer event, Elsa's original voice actress, Idina Menzel, said that in this movie, love is in the air for everyone, including Olaf. And that doesn't seem like something she would say for no reason. Okay, it was a way to introduce Olaf's girlfriend, but why was Elsa's voice actress the one who said it? If you combine that with the fact that Elsa is wearing red, which just happens to be the color of passion, could this whole idea of love being in the air for everyone be a clue that Elsa is also going to have a love interest? Wow, that would be the news of the year! And people have been thinking about something like that ever since the first movie. We just need to find out who that love interest would be, right? But that's going to have to wait because that's already a lot of information for you to process today, isn't it? And remember that little crystal creature I mentioned at the beginning? The one who shows up to ruin everything is none other than that creature. In the trailer, it stops acting like a lost spirit and starts behaving as if it is searching for one specific person. Speaking of searching, are you searching for some fun? You don't have to anymore. Comment the hashtag Frozen so we can play in the snow together. That snow butterfly goes straight toward Elsa. And it doesn't look like random flying at all. It charges at Elsa as if it wants to attack her, but the Ice Queen uses her powers and freezes the creature. And this scene raises one huge question. Why Elsa specifically? And remember what we saw at the beginning? This creature seems to have come from the northern lights in the sky. It's pretty clear that it didn't show up in Arendelle by accident. Maybe it was sent there. But things get much bigger right after that, because the spirit Elsa froze manages to break free, and it isn't alone. After our heroines enter a magical portal, this little creature joins others of its kind. And pay attention to the setting. As other mysterious creatures start appearing, everything begins to take on a more purple, darker tone, almost as if the movie's entire color palette is changing along with the arrival of the butterflies. This moment is a visual clue about the new villain. It becomes clear that these creatures are not independent spirits. They are obeying someone. And the trailer practically gives us the answer in the very next scene. Because all you have to do is pause the trailer on a shot of a single hand to realize that this new villain may have powers much more similar to Elsa's than we ever imagined. The most important scene in this trailer starts right now. Before the villain even appears completely, Disney shows us a huge clue, her hand. And it's worth pausing right here. Her nails are made of ice. Her sleeve already has that dark purple tone that matches the change in atmosphere of the scene, and when that cloud of crystal creatures appears, she simply catches one of them with her hand. That alone would already be strange. But the villa's design keeps revealing even more. Her boots have details that resemble snowflakes. On her outfit, black is mixed with frozen elements. And the most impressive part happens when those flying creatures start gathering around her and form a cape worthy of a Disney villain. In other words, this mysterious woman may not just be able to freeze things. She may have a much more powerful control over ice, creating shapes, clothing, and even living creatures. Does that remind you of someone? Of course, Elsa! That's why we said this movie is going to connect a lot with Frozen 1. Elsa has already created castles, dresses, bridges, and even snow creatures using her own powers. The franchise's most famous song revealed that. So if this villain can really do all of that, maybe Frozen 3 is putting Elsa face to face with someone who understands ice just as well as she does, or maybe even better. And there's another important detail. When these mysterious creatures transform into the villain's cape, it becomes much harder to believe that this is just a coincidence. And her very first line makes everything even more suspicious, because when she finally meets Anna and Elsa, she doesn't react like someone seeing two strangers. She talks like someone who has already been waiting for them. The villain looks at the heroines and says something like, "Look what the Northern Lights have brought, the Sisters of Arendelle." But the most important part is the idea that she has finally found the two of them. And that's very strange. She doesn't react like someone meeting Anna and Elsa for the first time. She already knew exactly who they were. So the question changes, right? It's no longer who is the villain, it's how does this woman know the heroines? And unfortunately, we still don't have many answers to that. But we do know that this conversation takes place somewhere else, far away from Arendelle. And when it comes to that, we have a lot to tell you. There's a new video here every day, so subscribe and hit the bell to stay up to date. The same northern lights that have been appearing since the beginning start opening up in the sky as if they were a magical gateway, but the place on the other side looks completely different. When Anna, Elsa, and the rest of the group arrive in this new territory, the entire landscape is covered in ice. And this place may have been created by the villain, just like Elsa created that castle in the first movie. Now the threat completely changes. And look at how everything connects with what the trailer has shown us so far. Elsa has just walked straight into exactly where this mysterious woman wanted her to go. And we're about to tell you the strongest detail of all right now. The villain's design makes this whole story even stranger. She actually looks a lot like Elsa's original design. We're going to show you everything right now. And this new character appears with dark hair, a black outfit, purple details, and ice all over her design. For anyone who doesn't know, Elsa was originally going to be the villain of the first movie before Disney changed its mind and turned her into a heroine. Pause the video and take a look. The comparison between the two is obvious. Disney is using Elsa's old design to create this villain. We're finally going to see what Elsa might have looked like if she had actually become evil. And the coolest part is that if you remember the first song from the first Frozen movie, it talks about a frozen heart that became corrupted. The theory is that this song is actually talking about the villain from the third movie, and not Elsa like everyone originally thought. That's why we're almost certain that this villain is going to be called Frozen Heart, which is the original name of the song. But to know for sure, we're going to have to wait until November 25th, 2027 when the movie premieres. For now, we'll leave you with that mystery. We've left 2 videos on your screen so you can choose and keep having fun with us. See you in the next video!